Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Cartere from GrowOnYouTube.com, and this is the life of a YouTuber vlog. I'm going to be sharing my channel update and letting you guys know basically what we're going to be doing in the next coming weeks. The month is December currently, and yeah, we got to prepare a few things for the new year. So that's going to mean a few changes around here. Hey, Toxic Gaming. Hey, Aysh. Thanks for coming through, guys. Let me bring up my notes. As you can see, Twitch is in the background. That's what we're going to start with on our agenda. We do have a fair amount of updates, so stay tuned. Yeah, the month is December, Aysh. Leave me alone. So yeah, first of all, let's talk about Twitch. So I did become a Twitch affiliate. If you guys didn't already know, I did make a video on that already, announcing all the stipulations that come with that. But basically, I'm only going to be streaming gameplay to Twitch from now on. So my regular streaming times will be over on Twitch. So if you want to catch me streaming that, then that's where I'm going to be. The link is in the description. You can follow me and turn on notifications over there so you get a notification when I go live. But I generally post in the Discord when I go live anyway, so definitely go and do that. But I will be changing my stream schedule. Now, for the past few weeks, my stream schedule has been from, let me quickly check, I think it's been from 5 to 9. Yeah, it's been from 5 to 9 GMT. And the problem with that is I don't get enough time to work. Like, I just don't. I get up, I have a fair amount of time to get some stuff done, and then I start streaming at 5, I finish at 9, and after 9, like, my brain goes to mush after I stop streaming, or after I finish streaming, because although it may seem easy, like, streaming is just playing games or whatever, like, that's what you may think, it's very, very exhausting, and I just do not have the time to focus on specifically streaming and neglect everything else. Like, I need to focus on paying the bills, to be honest. So yeah, my streaming schedule is likely gonna change from what it is to maybe something like 8 to 12. Like, that's still 4 hours. That's still 4 hours of streaming. But if it's 8 to 12, then I can get all my stuff done throughout the day. And then from 8 to 12, I just stream, and then I go sleep after that. But I'll probably have like an hour of wind down or something like that. So yeah, I'll probably be getting up at like 10 a.m. these days. So that's what I'm gonna, that's the plan for the Tuesdays to Thursdays stream. And then on Fridays, we're likely going to go from about 6 to 9. We may do 5 to 9 depending on how I'm feeling. But generally, Fridays is when I chill out with my girlfriend and stuff. So yeah, I need to finish a little bit earlier those days. So that is probably going to be the plan. If you want to check out my streaming schedule at any time, if I change it down the line, then all you need to do is go to my Twitter profile. I do have a pinned tweet up here, my Patreon pinned tweet, and I will reply to this tweet with my streaming schedule, or, you know, in the near future, my streaming schedule may be the pinned tweet, and then this Patreon will be the reply tweet. But we're focusing on having Patreon as the pinned tweet right about now, because we really do need to push to get some more patrons over here. So that's basically with Twitch and stuff. In terms of YouTube, what I'm going to be doing there is I'm going to be posting my YouTube highlights, well, highlights from my Twitch streams. We're also going to be just focusing on tutorials and reviews. So I really want to get the game reviews back up and running. We probably won't get one every week because that is crazy, and I just don't have the time to finish a game and then review it like once every week. I can't do that right now. That is the hope for the future. The hope for the future is that I can do these elaborate video essays talking about different games and that sort of stuff, and really going into depth. Like, that's what I really want to do. But right about now, I just do not have the time to commit to that and pay the bills at the same time. So we're not going to be doing that for now. But reviews, definitely. I'm going to finish the Persona 5 review today, and then we should be writing and recording the Assassin's Creed Origins review later this week. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on YouTube. And now let's talk about Patreon. Basically, the reason that I was able to focus on streaming for the past 2 months is that I had a bunch of, well, didn't have a bunch of supporters, but we got to 20 patrons. I think it was like at the end of last month, and I had a patron who was donating over like $300, so that really made a difference. But that patron has deleted his pledge. Like, he didn't say anything to me, didn't give me any information of why he was deleting his pledge or anything like that. So yeah, that happened. Basically, if you're a patron, thank you very, very much for being a patron already. If you are going to delete your patron pledge, please let me know in advance. Please just send me a message or something. I'm not entitled to it. I'm not entitled to your message. If you don't send me a message, that's totally up to you. But please just have some fucking consideration. Because if I don't know, then I don't know how to plan my next month. I don't know how things are going to be moving in terms of, you know, what I'm going to be earning from Patreon and all that sort of stuff. So please, if you can, let me know. If you can't, fair enough. Like, everyone who's supported already, I really appreciate it. As I said, again, I don't feel like I'm entitled to you guys to be my patron or anything like that. So if you choose not to, then, you know, fair enough. It's your money at the end of the day. Basically, we do need more patrons though. So if I have, as I said on this Twitter thing, if you enjoy the content that I make, or I've helped you and delivered value to you in any way, like if I've made a tutorial and you was like, wow, that really helped me, or I've given you some advice or whatever like that, or you like my videos, you like my streams, then please consider becoming a patron. You also receive cool perks and rewards, as well as a priority space on my Arc servers. Now, you can play on my Arc servers for free of charge, but patrons do get priority. Right about now, we have a 32 limit on my server, and we should be getting up a new server, but I need to talk to Nitrado and see what they're doing about that when Aberration comes out. But that will likely have a 32 player limit as well. Yesterday, there was like 30 players on the Ragnarok server, so, you know, you might not be able to get in the near future, like if we don't upgrade in time or whatever. So becoming a patron, it helps us out, and it lets me focus on making the server better for you guys, focusing on making content for you guys, and just makes me less having to focus on doing things that are going to pay the bills instead of doing things that are going to entertain you guys and, you know, provide, I don't know, that sort of content that you enjoy. Hey Hustle, he says, yo Jay, long time no see. Aisha, typical, you left after you did the thank you video. Yeah, but again, he did pledge and he was charged for the pledge, so I can't really moan at him. But it is what it is. So might as well stay on the Patreon page. What's the next thing? A Gamer's Guide to Greatness. My book, A Gamer's Guide to Greatness, How to Grow Your YouTube Gaming Channel and Turn It Into a Business. That will be coming out early next year. I did want to push for a January release, but it's probably going to be around February now, because I still got to look through the edits. I added intro and I added a conclusion, and I still need to read through, make sure everything, you know, works out, and it gives you, I basically want it to be a gamer's guide to greatness. I want it to be the guide that any person who wants to grow their YouTube channel and turn it into a business can grab and use and read it from beginning to end, and it will make a difference. So that's what I want to do. I want to give you a guide that gives you all the information you basically need to start up and get involved and start chasing your dreams, basically. So hopefully that's going to be done by the end of this month. That's also another reason why I'm like shaving an hour. What did I shave an hour for streams? No, I may have to do that. But that's another thing that I need to focus on this month. So if I do left streams or whatever, then, you know, there's a reason for that. So we need to get that book done. Aysh says, yeah, he did contribute a lot. I just think the disappearing is weird. It happens. Wait, you added a conclusion. You only told me you added intro in the email, so that's all I added. Yeah, I haven't sent you the conclusion yet. I wrote it like when I was about to go to sleep. But before I went to sleep, I had the thoughts of what I really wanted to get across. It's like about consistency and how, like, consistency can really, it's really, really important. And I think it's so underrated, consistency, because when you start out on YouTube or you start out on any social media platform, no one cares. No one gives a shit about you. No one checks out your stuff, and it can be really, really disheartening. And that usually leads people to not be consistent with their uploads or posting and all that sort of stuff, because they think, what's the point? No one's watching. But it's that consistency that will build you a catalog and actually bring people to watch. So I made a little outro on there to really drill the point home and get people in that mindset that's really going to help them succeed. Hustle said, all sounds like a book I may have to pick up. Yeah, it should be really, really helpful to anyone who wants to succeed on YouTube. And the techniques and principles that I've shared in the book will generally work for other social media platforms as well. So definitely grab that if you want to know about that. I do need to create the cover and create the pre-order page and all that sort of stuff. So these are things that I'm going to need to work on, because I really haven't had the time in the past few weeks. I also need to work on things for the stream. I really haven't had the time to do much, because it's like I get up, I do a few things, and then by the time it's like 2:30, 3, I need to think about dinner. I need to think about what I'm going to cook. I need to think about eating and surviving, so that I am able to finish a 4-hour stream and I don't pass out halfway through. So these are things that I've had to consider. Robert Marshall says, ever thought of doing Fortnite? Yeah, a lot of people have asked me to play Fortnite. The thing with Fortnite is it's incredibly oversaturated. The market on Fortnite is very, very saturated. By the way, Robert, I don't know if you followed me on Twitch, but yeah, that's where I'm going to be streaming from now on. So if you haven't seen my streams in the past a week or whatever, it's because I've been streaming exclusively to Twitch. Link is in the description. Please follow me and turn on notifications over there. But I'll think about doing Fortnite, because now I'm not playing Assassin's Creed. It's not a game that I have to finish. Like, I need to download The Witcher again, and I may download Sims 4, and it'll probably be like 2 hours of whatever game I want to play. So maybe Fortnite, maybe The Witcher, maybe Sims 4 if I want to play that, and then 2 hours of art, because that's what most people subscribe to me for, and most people watch my streams for. So that's what I'm planning to do with the schedule right about now. So yeah, let me quickly read the comments. Aysh says the book is good. Oh, look through my intro edits before you send, so we don't have loads of different versions. Yeah, I will. Yeah, you had the pleasure of reading it and editing. I appreciate. Hustle said, I don't really like Twitch. I prefer YouTube more, but sometimes I like Twitch. It depends. Twitch is... it's good. It's very good for streaming. It's way better than YouTube for streaming, but YouTube's way better for videos. Now, I'm going to be streaming my vlogs to YouTube because it just makes more sense to keep with my life of a YouTuber vlogs on YouTube. But in terms of gameplay and stuff, I'm going to be streaming to Twitch because I've become an affiliate over there, and I need to exclusively stream to Twitch. Like, it's part of the contract that I had to sign. I can only exclusively stream to Twitch, and then in 24 hours I'm allowed to upload that content to YouTube. So that's why I'm only streaming to Twitch. But yeah, definitely go and follow me over there, man. It's a really fun time. We hang out and stuff, and we play games and engage in a conversation and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I said I don't like Twitch either, but I'm getting used to it. I like Jay's streams, so kind of enforced it if I want to watch. Twitch is good, man. You'll get used to it. I'm getting used to it myself because I never used Twitch before. Like, now, like I used to restream to it, but I used to focus on YouTube, so I wasn't really in there with the Twitch systems. But Twitch is, I like it. And you guys can support me for free with your Amazon Prime. If you got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my channel on Twitch for free at no cost to you, and that helps out. And you can also use bits to share. There's also, you can earn bits for free by watching ads. I think, no, I don't have a video on it, but I did post a video in the Discord in the Support J channel. So if you want to go watch that, you can watch that, or just type in on Google, on YouTube, how to get bits for free on Twitch. And there's a bunch of videos. I'll probably make a video on it eventually, just so, you know, people who haven't seen those videos will be able to see it from me. Hustle says, yeah, I watched Twitch way back when Rainbow Six Siege was in beta. Yeah, personally, I never watched Twitch. I need to watch more Twitch. Like, I don't really watch live streams like that because I don't have the time. But I'm gonna try to get into that a little bit more so I can do my research and stuff, because I do like that's the way I work. I like to do research and see what other people are doing, see what good things they're doing, see what crappy things they're doing. So I'll stay away from the crappy things, pick up some of the good things, and improve the stream over time. So that's the goal. And then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is my new podcast. Now, I have kind of teased it in a few live streams here and there. Hustle says, I don't really watch live streams, videos are more my thing. I hear you. That's the same with me. But I do like live streams because it allows me to just engage with you guys live, like right there. You just left a comment and I just replied to it. If this was a video, I'd have to reply to it in text or whatever. I might reply to it in like an hour, maybe 4 hours, that sort of thing. But yeah, new podcast coming. I think I'm going to call it the Cartere podcast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record 10 episodes over this month, hopefully, maybe into January as well. We're going to record like 10 episodes and then I'm going to release the podcast. Now, the podcast, I think I'm going to be using a platform called Spreaker to test it out. And if it works out and it's all cool, then we'll move forward in that and I'll see what, the reactions are, if people enjoy it and that sort of stuff. But the things we're going to be focusing on, we're going to be talking about gaming. We're going to be talking about, business, chasing your dreams, that sort of shit. We're also going to be talking about I want to touch on just the things that are happening, happening in the world. Like, we didn't talk about the fucking Kevin Spacey shit because Kevin Spacey was one of my favorite actors, and to hear that he was trying to touch up little boys and whatnot is very disheartening. We didn't get to touch on that or anything like that because I was doing the Grow on YouTube podcast. And I didn't feel that it made sense for me to go out of the realm of just growing on YouTube. So we're going to, over the next month, we're probably going to wrap up the Grow on YouTube podcast, get it to like 50 episodes. And a lot of those episodes, I definitely suggest you listen to that podcast if you want to grow on YouTube. There's a lot of information in there. But on the new podcast, we'll touch on things like that. Possibly, but we'll be able to do more stuff because it's more of a general thing and it's not just, this is the type of podcast we're doing. Aysh says, oh, not on Anchor. No, I won't be doing it on Anchor because you can only do one podcast at a time on Anchor, and the one that I'm doing over there is the Grow on YouTube podcast. So we may actually continue the Grow on YouTube podcast if I do more content around growing on YouTube. I might just post it to Anchor, because that's where that audience is growing, like people who want that sort of content. But if I talk about like Twitch, Twitter, basically anything other than YouTube, I'll probably post it on the Cartere podcast. So that's the plan from now on. Hustle says, yeah, I like interactive streams more than the popular ones. Yep, me too. Like, when I've been searching for streams on Twitch, and I haven't been searching on YouTube anymore because I don't really use YouTube gaming, but I've been searching for, I've been going down the list to try and go for the people with less followers and less people watching around like my size, because I'm very small on Twitch. I've got 63 followers or something like that. So I'm trying to look for people around my size in my niche, preferably people who play Ark, who have quality streams and play on PS4. And it's very hard. It's very hard. I haven't seen a lot of people. I haven't seen a lot of good streams. I've seen a lot of trash streams, and I haven't found anyone to host, to be honest. Like, that's what I want. I want people to auto host on my Twitch channel, and I haven't really found anyone. If you guys know of any good streamers who put effort into their streams and whatnot and are active and consistent, then please let me know. Send me a message on Discord or leave a comment down below, because I do want to check them out. Aysh says, continuing grow on YouTube could create duplicates if you're going to discuss business and shit in the new one anyways. Yeah, I hear that, but I guess YouTube specific is okay. The thing is, the people who are listening to the Grow on YouTube podcast, they may not transfer over to the Cartere podcast. The way these things work on social media is, if you start something new, you start a new profile, you get a percentage of people over. You generally won't get everyone. So I've already built an audience over there on the Grow on YouTube podcast. So I'll be telling them, yo, I got this new podcast. I'll be telling them like every week to try and go there. So I think like 10 episodes more going down the line will help out and help get people from that podcast to the new one, as I can tell them what they can expect, the type of things that we're going to be discussing, and all that sort of stuff. Hustle says, I've actually never watched a podcast. What do you do? What do you mean? What do you mean by what do you do? Do you mean what do I talk about in my podcast? I haven't uploaded my Grow on YouTube podcast to YouTube. They're not watchable, but you can listen to them on the iTunes podcast app. Let me show you that. Now, this app here, this purple app, which a lot of people just don't use, actually brings up a bunch of podcasts. So as you can see, I've got the Dem and Dare podcast, H3H3 podcast, Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan is probably my favorite podcast. If you want a beginner's guide to podcast, like how great podcasts can be, I think the Joe Rogan Experience is one of the best podcasts out there. It's basically like Joe Rogan, what he does is he just has a conversation with people, and it's kind of like an interview but more a conversation. Like he asks questions and whatnot, but they have like an hour long, maybe 3 hour long conversations. I generally listen to podcasts. I listen to before I go to sleep. I'll set it on a 15-minute timer. I may listen to it while I'm washing up or doing stuff like that. I usually listen to it in place of music, or I'll listen to music. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. If I want to get some education or want to vibes, like that's the choice to make. But in my podcast, the Grow on YouTube podcast, I'm not even subscribed to my own podcast, them ones, because obviously I don't need to listen to myself. But yeah, if you just search for the Grow on YouTube podcast, you should find me, at the top, Grow on YouTube podcast. That is the podcast. How many episodes do we have? We got 41 episodes right about now. And basically what I do is I talk about different aspects of the growing on YouTube thing, like how to grow on YouTube, what things you need to do to grow on YouTube, and different aspects of things that you need to think about in order to grow your YouTube channel and turn it into a business. Now, my Grow on YouTube podcast is focused on gaming YouTubers, but the concepts and the principles can be applied to pretty much any YouTuber out there. And yeah, that's the focus of that. I did have a podcast before called the Talk About It podcast, where we talk about the weekly news and albums and music and stuff like that. But we're going to be moving into the Cartere podcast, where I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, because that's what I want to do. Like, I do these vlogs and whatnot, but generally the vlogs are like I'm doing my life of a YouTuber vlog, which is about YouTube and about my life as a YouTuber and all that sort of shit. But I do want to have a podcast format where I can talk for longer and, give to those people who like to listen to podcasts, because I like to listen to podcasts. And when you've got a YouTube video on your phone, you can't really just lock the stream and put it in your pocket, because that doesn't work. Like, it will just stop playing the video. So podcast is a good way to bypass that. Yeah, we got 41, Aysh. Do a video on how to set it on timer. People don't know how to do that. It's really, really easy. Maybe I will do that. Can you send me a message and remind me to do that? So I've got a lot of videos to do. I need to do videos for Discord and all that sort of shit. That will probably come in the new year, once I've got like my schedule down and we've got things moving. Hustle says, how long do podcasts usually go for? It depends. It depends on the podcast. I can't really tell you, this podcast is going to be an hour, or this podcast is not. You don't know how to do it. It's really, really easy. Can you see my phone? Can you see my phone when I do this? Let's go to my Joe Rogan podcast. You just go up and then there's a sleep timer. Like, and there's all your stuff. Like, that's where it is. But yeah, it depends on the podcast. The podcasts that I listen to, they're generally an hour, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3. That's like the Joe Rogan podcast. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3. I don't think it ever goes longer than like 5 or whatever. You can't see my phone. Okay, whatever. So basically, yeah. Oh, my phone was out the shot. What? It was like right here. Alright, let's do that again. Look, there's the sleep timer. Like when you're here, here's the podcast, and then you go up, and then you can see the sleep timer, and you can set it to wherever you want. Sorry if you can't see that. Alright, there. I can't do this on a camera. I'd have to connect it to my Mac and actually record it off my phone, and that will be a better tutorial for you guys. But yeah, my Grow on YouTube podcast, they usually go from like 10 to 15 minutes to 30 minutes. They generally don't go over an hour because I'm just talking myself. I'm not, oh, my alarm just went off. I'm not having a conversation with anyone else or like having a interview or anything. So generally my podcasts are shorter, but I'm not gonna have like a time limit on my podcast or anything like that. I'm just gonna do what I feel like and talk for as long as I want, and then cut it off in it. Like, that's what I'm gonna do, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, fair enough. But also I'm gonna be including like certain vloggy type stuff, like talking about, you know, what's going on in my day-to-day life in the podcast, if you guys want that sort of stuff. And yeah, it should be interesting. It should be really interesting. You guys will basically be able to delve into my mind and see how I think, which I think my mind is interesting. Not to be, you know, a arrogant prick, but I do feel like I think very differently than a lot of people. So I think it would be interesting to most people and to people who think similarly to myself. As I do have a few controversial opinions and I do have a few interesting insights, which I think you guys will find entertaining. Are you going to do a collabs with others? What? Oh, collabs with others on your podcast, or are you solo? I'll start off solo. I'll do the 10 episode solo. If it grows and I'm able to reach out to other people to have a conversation about some stuff, then I'll invite people on and do that sort of stuff. Because I do want to have conversations with people and all that. But with the growing YouTube podcast, it didn't really lend itself to that. Obviously, I could have, but I think, like, my podcast needs to be at a certain point, getting a certain amount of listeners for me to have the confidence to be like, yo, do you want to jump on the podcast? Unless I'm like just having a podcast with one of the patrons or something, which I'll probably do. I'll probably do that with any one of the patrons who, you know, want to have a conversation about the topic that I'm going to be discussing on the podcast. Let me give you guys a few examples of the topics that I'm going to be discussing on the podcast. So I've got the first 4 subjects down. The first podcast is going to be how to quit your job and start a business. Second podcast is going to be about microtransactions, loot boxes, gambling, and DLC. Third podcast is going to be about, you know, numbers don't matter as long as you can pay your bills. Fourth podcast is about how much grind is reasonable in games. And we're going to continue going on about that, you know, mixing and matching certain types of subjects, talking about gaming, talking about the gaming industry, like publishers and how they're trying to fucking fleece us and all that sort of shit, because I haven't really had a conversation on microtransactions and whatnot, and I think it'll be interesting to hear my opinion on it, because I have never talked about it, and there's a lot of people at one extreme saying, oh, microtransactions are terrible, and people at another extreme saying, you know, it doesn't matter because you don't really have to pay for anything, you can just play the game. And I'm generally at, you know, on that, more to that side. I'm not on the extreme, because there are some BS practices, but I usually come from the point of, you know what, if it doesn't force you to pay and the grind isn't terrible, then I don't really give a shit. I don't really care. Like, I don't, what Hustle says, microtransactions are really stupid, yet I still buy them. I don't buy them, never. I don't have no money to be spending on microtransactions. All I got money to be spending on is bills right about now. We ain't paying for no microtransactions. But I do understand having them in a game to make it easier for someone who doesn't want to go through all the grind, or who wants to make the process quicker because they got some more money than time. I understand that, and I think it's perfectly fine. And I understand it coming from a business perspective in terms of, yo, I want these games to make money, and I'll be talking about a lot of things from the pragmatic perspective of, you know, doing things as a business, and then I'll be talking about it from the other point of view of maybe as the consumer, and then how, you know, I personally feel when it comes right down to it. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I don't know when I'm going to start recording the podcast, because we really haven't done that yet, but right about now I'm focusing on finishing the book. Once we've got the book done and, you know, the Persona 5 review done, because I've been working on that since June or July, one of those, then we're going to move on to recording all the podcasts and moving forward from that. Hustle said that's a good idea to do it with the patrons. I says you never had a regular job though, like it's easy to get sucked into the money it gives you and finds it hard to put yourself in a position to quit. I'm going to tackle this from a really interesting perspective. I'm not going to tell people, yo, quit your job and start a business. I'm going to give them the real in it. I'm going to tell them how to quit your job and start a business if you really, really want to. I don't think having an idea and thinking, yo, I want to start a business is the perfect time to just quit your job and go into it. No, I'm going to walk people through the steps of what they need to do if they really want to pursue something and, you know, do something outside of what they do in their personal 9-to-5s. And I do understand the allure of having the regular money and all that sort of shit, because I've seen it in many, many people, and I've seen people's experiences. I've seen people who just work all week and then spend all their money on the weekend, and then work all week and then spend all their money on the weekend, and then moan about their life like, oh, I'm just in the same position every fucking week. What is happening to me? That's because you're living month to month and you're not thinking about the future. So we're going to talk about that sort of stuff. Hassel says, I'm still in school and I do graphic designs, but I can't get money for them because I'm not old enough. So at the moment, I'm doing them for free, but I want to start earning money off it. But you know, I'm only 13. You can earn money off it. I don't know what you're saying that you can't earn money off it. If your designs are good enough, you can. You just need to learn how to create a business, market it, and actually gain clients. Once you learn those things, then you'll be able to actually, you know, make money off them. Like Aysh says, make a website and sell them. That's the easiest thing to do. And it doesn't matter if you're 13. If I wanted to hire a graphic designer right now, which I honestly don't have the money to do, but if I wanted to hire a graphic designer and I had the money, I don't care how old they are. As long as they're professional and they can do the job and they get it to me punctually on time, preferably before I even asked for it. Like, if you send it to me early, then I'm going to be coming back to you because I know you're reliable. Like, that's what matters. The work is what matters. The qualification doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is the work at the end of the day. If you can do the work consistently and punctually, then no one cares about anything else. Maybe some people do, but those people are dumb. Like, if you got money and you want to spend it on quality, you're going to look for quality. But yeah, that's the end of the vlog. We kind of went into a little tirade or whatever. Mate, I'm gonna hit my mic. No, sorry, I was hitting the table. My bad. Hustle says, yeah, but I need to link a PayPal. I need a credit card, and over here you can't get one till you're 15. Now you can get a debit card, but I don't know how debit cards are in America because I've never lived in America, but I know I could get a debit card before I was 15. If your parent signs for it or whatever, you can open up a bank account, you can get a debit card. So you can definitely do that. Or you can just have the money in your PayPal and don't link it to a credit card or anything like that. I think you'd be able to do that. But that may be a question that I'll actually answer in a podcast. That'll be interesting if I can look into that, do some research and see how younger people can forage into the world of business and do all that sort of stuff. But to be honest, my target audience isn't you young guys. I appreciate you coming through and all that sort of stuff, but my target audience is 18 and up, really. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on. That's a big reason why I'm moving the streams to a later time, as well as, I just need the time in the day. Oh, you're in Australia. Okay. You need to get a debit card, but you need to find out how you can link them. You need to link your PayPal to your bank account. That's how you do it. You don't actually link it to your debit card. My bad. You link it to your bank account, and they send a small deposit into your bank account, and then you need to look at what the deposit was and tell them what it was, and then they will link your bank account up. That's how it works. So yeah, I think that's all. We're gonna go on forever, and I'm not gonna get any fucking work done if I keep on doing this. So thanks for coming through. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing. And as I said before, go follow me on Twitch, man. That's where I'm going to be streaming and doing all that sort of shit, where you can catch me live more of the time. You can get involved in conversations. You can see me play games and all that sort of shit. And that link is in the description. Please become a patron if you like my content. If I've helped you, I've given you any reasonable advice, I've given you any thing that you think is of value, or you enjoy the Ark servers, please become a patron. It really helps out. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Peace.